and score. So they didn't score, got in 2 series, and they pooed me. So
When things tightened up, was there any conversation about you coming back in?
yeah. There were conversations like, hey, like we might need you to come back in, if they score again on this, because then it'll be a 1-score game. So yeah, I was prepared to come back in if needed to.
That sack you had late in the first half, you bent backwards, everything came out clean from that.
Yeah, I'm sure tomorrow will feel a little different, but yeah, felt good from that. I was just thinking, get up so we could clock it.
So obviously, like in a game like this, you mentioned the five. So just defensively, how does it feel compared to just the backs and the offensive?
Man, that was awesome to see from our defense. The turnovers, the sacks, just the big hits that they were making defensively. For me, I'm used to seeing that because in my first 2 years, that's the type of defense we've had, a defense that would get interceptions and then would score. And we'd come off with like 5 turnovers a game, my first 2 years. So I'm used to seeing that, and it's always great to watch when we're able to also do some things really well offensively.
You protected so well during the stretch. What were you seeing in the protection through that run where the Texans had a sack at the end of the first half and then also in the third quarter?
Yeah, well, I think with some of the plays that I told Mike I liked, I put some guys in some bad situations by doing so. And, like I said, that has a lot to do with kind of finding the rhythm of the game with, your guys, your players. So, I would say that one falls on me. But, yeah, we'll be better for it.
Two of the broadcasts said that last year you had some moments where you looked yourself in the mirror and had to ask, like, am I good? Am I good?
Sure.
And that Mike showed you a 700 play highlight tape reminding you, yes, you are. Can you, I guess, describe from your perspective what that process was?
Well, I thought it was cool. I think anyone here can attest to someone believing in them, and how that changes how they see themselves, but also things around them. So perspective. But it was awesome. There's a lot of details that entail, me sitting down with him and other things as well. But it's awesome. It's really cool.
Was that the first step to being what you are today? This season was that affirmation from your head coach and all that?
Well, yeah, I think that could be a step, but at the end of the day, no matter how good your relationship is with someone, you still got to go out and play. You got to go play football, and that's with all of our guys. I could have a great relationship with our running backs. I can't, having a good relationship with you, I can't help you rush for 2,000 yards, or rush for however many yards you want to in the game. So we all got to be dialed into the details of what the offense entails. And, that I would say that's just an add-on, the relationships we have with one another in the building, with each other, from coach to player, player to player, and, much more, in the building with everyone else.
Too early in the game, Jalen Waddle broke the record for most receiving yards for the first 2 years in a career for the Dolphins. What could you say about your college team?
Wow.
Yeah, your college and pro team. What could you say about that?
Never knew that. Congratulations to Jalen. That's news to me. I'm definitely going to go and beat him up about that. I don't know if he knows too, so that'll be awesome to tell him. But well deserving for someone like him. Comes into work, works his ass off, has a lot of questions every time, and if he doesn't get them answered, then he's not going to be in for that play. So a very detail-oriented person, and very happy for him. This is just the beginning. He's only in year 2, and we got a lot more games to play.
5 wins in a row, 8-3, 3 big road games upcoming. Where's the season standing for you all, would you say right now?
Well, we're enjoying our win right now, being 8-3, and we'll come into work tomorrow, see what we need to get better with, and then we'll worry about the next team.
How you keep on keeping that momentum going as far as
Well, I would say it's us just playing together as a team. I understand the question of that being an individual thing, but really I'm not able to have recognition or any of that without everyone doing their jobs, doing their assignments, and if a team has success, that's what brings individual success for anyone on any team. So. If we were losing, I mean, I don't know if I would be getting the recognition I'm getting. I don't know if any of the guys on our team would be getting that recognition. It really is a team. So individual success is based off of the team's success.
your relationship with Trent Dilfer from your time in Week 11? When you look back at see how that motivation from Trent during the conversation to this point in time, how
Man, that's been a long time that I can remember because I was in high school when that happened, and then I think that happened through the summer, and then I had a season, after that, and then I was deciding what college I was going to go to. So, really hard for me to think of a lot of the things that Trent had told me and talked to me about, but he's a really great resource that I've been able to have in my corner. Someone that I'm able to call, talk to about whatever. And when I was coming out in the draft, he was definitely someone that kind of helped me prepare for the draft too. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
All right.
Mike, do you have any status update on Teron Armstead's injury?
I don't. He didn't get any cue as far as how serious it would be. So we'll find out more tomorrow. Same with Austin.
Just to ask this question, it's not the situation.
Not that I was aware of. No, that was a injury that, regardless of the score, was going to keep him out for the game.
Yeah, I don't know if but you left after that was you guys scramble a little.
No, we were struggling to a degree. I think I would have that part in that as much as anybody really. There was some play calling decisions that I definitely learned from. I put some guys in some unfair situations. Was way too aggressive, and it was something that I told the team after the game that I'll definitely learn from, because it wasn't fair to them. And when you do have some lineup changes, you can't play the way that or put them in positions they were being put in. So I don't think that was a fair representation of the group in general. Even if there was some lineup changes, they were able to tee off, and we had an established run game, and it kind of put the tackles in some real tough situations. And so something that it will all get better from it. And the good thing about this group of players in that locker room is they'll hear me say that I need to get better in that situation, not put those guys in the situation again. But the players will take the accountability as well and know that they can work on their techniques to make sure that if I had a stroke and did it again, that they'd perform better.
Mike, just overall, what's the feeling of going into December football knowing that everything you want to accomplish is in front of you?
There is nothing better in professional football than meaningful December and January games. Nothing better. I'm very excited for our young team and a lot of guys to feel that for the first time. I think it was important that guys looked at this game through the lens of establishing a good position for that competitive playoff run. We got 6 games left, and that you have to learn on the job live, and the more that we bring intensity and focus to each and every game, knowing that they're all going to count for, whether or not we're able to, be in the playoffs, whether or not we're able to have home games, all of those things that you want as a team, you have to earn it down this stretch. So this is as fun as it gets. I'm really juiced for the guys. We have a team that's very, very tight, that is very ambitious, and that is willing to work for it, and that's all you could ask. So very happy with that, and you just wish we could have times the first half by 2 as opposed to dividing it by 0.
Coach, you mentioned accountability. Over the bye week, Jason Sanders, very critical of his own performance this year. He comes in today, perfect on field goals, on PATs. What could you say about that accountability and his performance?
That is the coolest thing in sports, is I guess the second coolest thing in sports, because I just said the coolest thing was, right? So the second coolest thing in sports is overcoming adversity. And like I said last week, I fully expected that. He's given me no reason to think otherwise.
but it is to his credit that is not always the case at that position. You know, it's such a finicky off a quarter of an inch with your strike or with your plant foot or anything, and you find it tough to get it through the upright. So that's very meaningful, and I think he just reiterated and reestablished the respect he already had in the locker room. Everybody had that expectation. No one really even thought twice. I know I didn't hang on the field goal. I was on the field goals when we were attempting them. I fully expected him to drill them, and he did. So happy with that. Happy for him.
Mike, we heard that you showed a 700 play highlight reel as part of, like, I guess your introduction to him, or
Who are you talking to? Who's your source?
Broadcast.
Can you talk to us about that, the process of putting that together, and what made you want to do that for him?
You try and put yourself in other people's shoes as best you can. I think that's an important component to being a head coach. And, you know, no one really, I think it's hard for people to truly wrap their head around what it is to be a quarterback in the National Football League in terms of, you talk about as much pressure as one could ever have. You have all these teammates depending on you to do the right thing on every play. People are trying to tackle you full speed while you're making split-second decisions, and you're in charge of making sure that our plus-minus turnover ratio is right. That is a hard job. Not to mention, this just in, anybody that's drafted as a quarterback in the top 10, top 5, they want to be good. They want to be good with I would not want to trade places or wish any sort of anybody really to be drafted super high and then fall short of the franchise's expectations. That is a tough place to live in, and that was the motivating factor behind everything, is you acknowledging that, understanding that, wow, it's hard enough to play an opponent. I better make sure, you know, there's a lot of things that are telling me that this player may not have the confidence that he should. So instead of getting mad at that or doing anything, it was incredibly important that anybody that would listen would be able to see from a starting point, not just watch the FaceTime where I'm like, yeah, you're going to be a great player, to actually know. And it was easy. He had the stuff on the tape, and I think that's a credit to him, and he's to his credit, he's really listened, taken the coaching that he's good, said, okay, coach, I believe you. And I think you guys have seen the residuals up close and personal for a while.
To follow up quickly, I guess, were you aware, or at what point were you aware that his confidence had dropped that low from the season?
This was not going off of straight fact. This was just using intuition, that getting beat up and having your existence be completely tainted by people saying that you aren't X, Y, or Z. And then on top of that, from my vantage point, I felt like he was put behind the 8 ball in a way with, his strengths he couldn't play to. And so if you're not able to play to your strengths in your position that one of the reasons you've gotten there is you're an unbelievable point guard. I felt, how could he, with all the things going on and all the, it's a lot of loud noise that you try to ignore, but people are human. So it was intuition, and it started, seeing him every practice once he started getting, a little bit more confidence each and every day. You could see his personality evolve, and that's when I learned kind of how deep it was, because I'm learning his personality. The first day I meet him is who I know him as, and then you fast forward a month and a half, and he's a different guy. Then retroactively, you're like, wow, that was real. And it's not like he admitted it either to me at the time, live speed. This is something that I think he just, all he did was just come to work, buy in, listen, and then do what he could control instead of worrying about any of it. Is he chopped wood, got with Coach Bevel and Chandler Henley, and they've not done anything but tried to work on technique, fundamentals, and how to play the position at an elite level, and they've done an outstanding job with that, and henceforth we're 8-0 with him. Or I guess he didn't finish the game, but you guys get it. He wins a lot.
Undefeated month of you all 4-0. What does that mean?
I think it means a lot because it wasn't just handed to us, it's earned. And I think in the process, the 5 wins that we've had in a row, or the month that we've won, it means a lot, because I know it wasn't gifted to anyone, and that they did things the right way, and that shapes the way you do things moving forward. We found different ways after the three-game losing streak that we identified, looked ourselves in the mirror, and were very candid about how can we correct, really challenged the leaders of the team, the captains and the leadership council, and those guys have really taken it and ran with it, as well as the coaching staff. We knew we had higher expectations than what was happening to us in the 3-game losing streak, and thought we should have a better record. So instead of, well, if, but, or when, no, you take those experiences and you do something about it. And that's what I'm happy about, is that every single win was through blood, sweat, and hopefully not too many tears. But there may have been, and you know what? I have a low, small shoulder that people can cry on, so I'm good for many things.
Mike, going back to your old stomping grounds in San Francisco, how long will you enjoy this one before you turn the page to a team you're very familiar with?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to. Can I get a day? I try not to. You do not want to take anything for granted in this league, and you get a win. It does not matter. Every team is trying tooth and nail to beat you, and you can get delusional in the wrong way if you just move past it. For me, I'll worry about our next opponent tomorrow, and that's who it will be, is our next opponent. Everybody has, or a lot of people have teeth in this league. You go a bunch of different places, but I promise you that next week will not be about me. I refuse for that to happen. This is about the Miami Dolphins and trying to string another win together. Because tomorrow I'll be excited to go after 9 wins. Right now I'm just excited about 8.
Mike, in your work to inject confidence, for lack of a better term, back into it, was there, when you look at the timeline, was there any moment that you said, okay, now he said something or did something that you said, okay, he's getting to be the guy that we know he can be?
I think within the off season there were some. It was definitely in OTAs, and there was a particular practice in general that he made some plays going against our defense that we've been running a very similar offense, a starting point, the same offense since 2006 or so. So there's core concepts within it that you build from, and it may look different, but the principles are the same. And there were several plays in, I think, a practice in May that for the 12 or 13 years of cut-ups of running said play, didn't have one example of a quarterback being able to pull off a play that he did. So going over the top with that, and then his teammates in an authentic way gravitating to him and really being excited about very good quarterback play. Once he did that, he flipped and never went back. It wasn't wishy-washy. It wasn't back and forth. It was more that you had to just scratch and claw to break through something. And once he did, he was good to go.
Like there's a back and forth that goes on with O-line and Tua, where Tua has to make plays kind of in a adequate amount of time to help out those guys, and vice versa. I guess if anything does happen to Teron long term, or you played some time without Teron, how has Tua kind of made it easier for the O-line, and how is the O-line kind of going to make it easier for Tua if you don't have that guy?
No, that's kind of one of the reasons I'm so accountable for my part in the end of the second quarter, the beginning of the third specifically, because it's a group effort that has to be committed towards getting the ball out and having timely concepts, and then not putting people in position to be in harm's way. And I think that's something that you have to kind of tackle from the beginning of the week. I thought we had that in our plan. My biggest problem with the game was that I didn't really lean on those portions of the game plan. I kind of went rogue to a degree. So I think that's something that we're all playing football together. Every team you play has very, very good players somewhere. The key is to try to figure out how to make sure those guys aren't the guys that beat you, and then play sound football as a group, and that's what we'll continue to work on moving forward. All right, thank you.